Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mitchell with FF Real Talk, and I'm here to give you the Week 9 waiver ads. This video is going to be up really late today, well, relatively late in terms of how I usually do it, which is 2-3 hours before now. Had a pretty bad headache today, and I just had to get some rest before I could do this. It's still pounding in my head, but I do this for y'all, so it was hard to get up to do this, but I got to. So, but we're just gonna go ahead and get started with it today. Week 8 was really tough on a lot of people for a number of reasons, and most of the cases were being that it was a number of injuries that kind of flooded all of us. Unexpected stuff like those who didn't catch the Ty Montgomery news in time. Devontae Booker giving us that scare, Jacquizz Rodgers getting hurt, DeMarco Murray getting hurt, and a lot of other things. There's a lot of injuries, and we got some injury news that just popped off, a few hours ago, and that's big for the year. Well, it really isn't that big because he hasn't been an impact at all this year, but Jamal Charles is going down on the IR, which is the perfect segue into the #1 waiver ad of the week, which is Charcandick West. With Charles being gone, that automatically would be a huge vault to Ware's security for the year. But Ware got a concussion this past weekend. So what that does is that opens up the door, at least on the short term, at least for Charcandick West. But if you remember correctly, before Ware was a thing, West was a thing, and then they became a co-thing, and then Ware kind of outshined him. But Charcandick West has skill. He's a good runner, he's good out of the passing game, etc. This is going to be a great pickup. He ain't going to lose much if he has to step in for Ware for any amount of time. So for all those who have to cut Charles tonight, if you can get West, which shouldn't be that hard because people have been kind of putting him to the side. If you can grab West, that's the guy you want to own. And all Spencer Ware owners, you want to own him as well. #2, Derrick Henry. Finally, we see some goodness from this guy. This was one of my later round picks earlier in the year. And I knew it would be for this being based on what DeMarco Murray does and didn't do. And we thought we were going to be a little bit more from him because we were expecting DeMarco Murray to be closer to the Philly DeMarco as the Dallas than the Dallas DeMarco, which he's kind of more resembling than anything. But DeMarco Murray's been great, and in the aftermath of that, Derrick Henry suffered until this week. He showed exactly what he can do if given the opportunity, and if anything is to happen to DeMarco Murray and his foot going forward, Henry will be an every week running back 2 at least. All DeMarco Murray owners, whoever cut Henry, if you didn't have him at first, you need to have him now. And savvy owners, y'all pick him up, try to work out trade offers to the Murray owner to try to do it before the trade deadline. There's going to be a lot of players in here that fit under that category. All people try to grab them so that you can use them as trade bait before the deadline. #3, J.J. Nelson. To me, this is basically a next man up, better man up thing. Both John Brown and Michael Floyd have been performing well below expected this year, but so is Carson Palmer. But maybe this is what the team needed this week with seeing J.J. Nelson go off the way he did. And we've seen this before. Last year, he had that one big blow-up game that had everybody juicing, but maybe they just needed a boost for some new blood here because that team is generally old around in a lot of its cases. It can't all be David Johnson, and it can't all be whenever Larry Fitzgerald does get it going. So this is maybe an adrenaline shot, and might be an aberration. Who knows? But he definitely has the speed to be somebody that can get some nice fantasy points and nice outings if given the chance. So this is a guy that you definitely want to look at if you got wide receiver issues, which most of us do have at this point. Number 4, Tim Hightower. Anyone who's on Mark Ingram this year has been in a world of hurt. You've seen this before. This is the Mark Ingram that we saw his rookie year and his second year that had all of us like, man, these Alabama backs, man, when they come into the league, man, they don't necessarily come in and do what they should be doing. But then year 3, he started to take that turn. All I can say is this. I don't know how long this guy's leash is or how short it is, but Tim Hightower can hold it down. He's proven to be a D'Angelo Williams of sorts in that he can take the #1 role and run with it without losing a bit of steam if given the opportunity. So I don't think Mark Ingram's going to get benched, but again, he's being watched. And when the rope snaps, if this thing comes to a head, you want to be the guy that owns Hightower. So definitely keep an eye on him. All Mark Ingram owners, that's your first target if you don't land Charcandick West. Number 5, Corey Coleman. Y'all forgot about him, didn't you? Corey Coleman is going to be one of those guys that is going to, well, I don't know if my video just froze up or not. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I just saw my video freeze and maybe it stopped, but I'm going to keep going. I don't have time. Either way, Corey Coleman was my early vote for Rookie of the Year. Unfortunately, an injury derailed that campaign for being that, but before the injury happened, he was lights out playing. And this couldn't have come at a better time that he'll be returning soon for Josh McCown and the rest of the company, because it can't all be Terrell Pryor. He's a great player, but he can't do everything. This is perfect timing, and a lot of people cut this guy. So this is someone that you want to grab because some people are sleeping on it and some people aren't even thinking about it. Get him now. You'll be getting a easy wide receiver 2 and 2, or possibly even wide receiver 1 some weeks if you grab him. So that's somebody you want to target. Number 6, Mohamed Sanu. I saw how well he was fitting into an Atlanta system in week 1, and since then he hasn't done too much. But when this is all based off this one thing. Right now, Atlanta's playing at a clip that's just unbelievable. They're arguably the most explosive and best and most cohesive offense in the league right now. So when you have that and you're the second option in that, there's value for you, there's need for you, there's use for you. So that means use for fantasy owners. So if you have somebody that you know is on your bench that isn't producing, I see things opening up for Sanu because they're going to start double, tripling everything for people on Julio Jones as this year goes forward, as they try to key on trying to stop Atlanta. That's going to open things up for Sanu. You want to be a guy that'll own a player like that. Number 7, CJ Fiedorowicz. I love when a tight end pops off the waiver wire and proves to be true quality. It does not happen often, but when it does happen, it's a beautiful thing. Fiedorowicz has had nearly a month of games where he's proved serviceable. And let me tell y'all a secret to why this is happening. It's a good thing off a bad thing. It's because Brock Osweiler is so damn sorry. He is making DeAndre Hopkins a complete bust. He's making Will Fuller look just as bad. So what do you do when you can't throw? You check down, and you check down to who you can throw it to. CJ Fiedorowicz is becoming the big body beneficiary of the fact that Brock Osweiler is garbage. So He's still a quarterback in this league, and with a quarterback being in this league, you can make some throws, and those short throws are going to be to C.J. Fiedorowicz, especially in the red zone, and it's starting to show. So I'd rather have him going forward than a lot of tight ends at this point because they got to use him. So this is a guy you want to target. Cut bait of some of those tight ends you're holding on to. If you don't need them, this is the guy. Number 8. Antone Smith. Y'all remember him in Atlanta when he would have those crazy explosive runs but would just never get any time? He's one of those true spark plug players. And right now, depending on the nature of Jacquizz Rodgers' injury, this is a guy that has that, again, that spark plug ability to get out in open space and just jet on you. And it's more of a next man up thing than anything. I don't know a running back situation that I can think of that's been as bad in terms of injury bitten as Tampa Bay. First they lose Doug Martin. Then they lose Charles Sims. Then we lose Jacquizz Rodgers possibly for a minute. Next man up, Antone Smith. If you got room on your bench or if you're a Jacquizz Rodgers owner, this is a guy you want to hold on to because he's a possible lotto ticket. Same situation for number 9, which is Kapri Bibbs. Just like Smith, Kapri Bibbs' value is solely tied to the running back that they're backing up. So depending on how Devontae Booker, and I think it's a shoulder injury that's going on, how he came back and played the rest of the game, which saved a lot of us, especially in terms of DFS. Got me a little money back from what I lost the week before because of Devontae Booker. I thought I was going to lose it, though, because he went out. I was like, that's it. But he came back, showed some toughness. Now, I don't know what he's going to be doing going forward in terms of the upcoming weeks, but you want to have Kapri Bibbs either way if you're a Devontae Booker owner because he's the number 1 spot now. And having the handcuff to the number 1 player who isn't 100% proven is always a good thing. So that's a guy you want to have, especially if you're a Booker owner. And again, like I mentioned earlier, grab him to be a trade bait possibility to the Booker owner before the trade deadline hits. That's how you make moves in fantasy. And the last pickup, C.J. Prosise. This is a true surprise for me. I didn't see the 10 points that he got fantasy points that he got coming at all. For some reason, Pete Carroll opted to put Prosise in the bulk of the passing downs for the first time this season over Christian Michael. Coincidence? I don't know. Is it permanent? I don't know that either. One thing's for sure, I would be willing to guess more than anything else is this more than likely a function of Russell Wilson and his state right now. This guy is hurting, and I don't think he's going to be healthy. He's not healthy now, and I don't think he's going to be healthy the duration of this season. Russell Wilson is built on exploiting you with his legs and his ability to pass. He can't do either right now because he's got this problem with his knee and he's got a problem with his throwing arm. So what that turns into is a whole lot of the running game, especially with C-Mike and, in the case of Prosise, short passes. So if this is going to be a recipe for any of the offense that they have to manufacture, that gives C.J. Prosise a role. So you want to keep an eye on him. If you're a Christian Michael owner, you might want to grab him immediately. And if you don't grab him off the waiver wire, definitely something to keep an eye on. I want to see a couple of more weeks as to if Pete Carroll uses him and if it comes a little bit to fruition what I'm thinking this whole thing is. Because I think more than anything, this is a function of what Wilson can't do more so than a function of what Prosise can do. But either way, it's somebody to keep an eye on. As always, follow me on Twitter at FFRealTalk. Hit me up there with your questions. If you got questions, you can answer them here. You know the name of the game. Subscribe to the channel. Spread the word, etc., etc., etc. I'm done. I'm going to bed. I'm still have a headache, and this video makes it throb a little bit more. Either way, y'all have a good one. Good luck in week 9. Take care.